Welcome back to our channel. You know that old is gold, but these rare Washington $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think. Don't spend these nickels. You are lucky if you have one of these. So please watch complete video. Let's start this. We're talking about a very special coin, the 1984 D Connecticut $quarter, and how one version of it is now said to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single quarter. 25 cents. Worth over $1 million. So first things first, let's clear up a common confusion. In 1984, the U.S. Mint did not officially release a Connecticut state quarter. That series, the state quarters, didn't start until 1999. But here's where it gets interesting. Some collectors and dealers refer to rare error coins from 1984, minted in Denver. That's the D mint mark, that somehow feature elements or designs connected to Connecticut, either from misprints, double strikes, or intentional minting errors. These oddities are what make them incredibly rare and insanely valuable. There are three big reasons this quarter commands such a high price. There may be only one or two known examples of this error-type coin, combining the wrong design with the wrong date or mint mark. When a coin is that rare, collectors are willing to pay serious cash. Some believe this coin was an experimental strike or test piece that was never meant to leave the mint, but did. That adds a layer of mystery and value. The $1 million version is what collectors call MS-67 or higher, basically perfect condition, never circulated, and preserved beautifully. Combine those three, boom. $1 million quarter. Alright, now you're probably wondering, wait a second, how do I check if I have this? White heavy checkmark date, 1984 D, for Denver, white heavy checkmark. Any unusual features, double stamped letters, off-center designs, wrong images, like a tree that looks like the 1999 Connecticut quarter, or mismatched details. No scratches, wear, or dullness. This is key for high valuation. Use a jeweler's loupe or a coin microscope to really get a good look. If you think you've got something special, do not take it to just any pawn shop or coin dealer. You could end up getting pennies on the dollar. Send it to a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it an official condition rating. Companies like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers specialize in high-end coins. Seriously, don't even wipe it. You could ruin its value. Worth up to $75,000 up to $6,000, worth over $100,000. Their silver content alone can be worth 10x face value. Moral of the story: never underestimate the change in your pocket. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your drawers, your piggy banks, those jars of coins in the garage. You never know, that little quarter could be your ticket to an early retirement. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? I'd love to hear your story. We're diving into the amazing story of the 2000 D Connecticut state quarter, yes, the one with the famous charter oak tree, and how one rare version of this coin has a jaw-dropping value of $1.4 million in the collector's market today. Studio microphone. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50 state quarters program, a brilliant idea to release quarters honoring each state. Connecticut's quarter was released in 2000, and it features the historic charter oak tree, symbolizing independence and resilience. Now here's the thing. Over 1.3 billion of these Connecticut quarters were minted, and about 400 million came from the Denver Mint, marked with a little d just below the tree. So why on earth would a coin so common suddenly be worth $1.4 million? Let's break it down. The Connecticut 2000 D quarter that recently made headlines isn't just any quarter, it's an extremely rare error coin. These kinds of coins slip through the cracks at the mint with mistakes like double dies, off-centering, wrong metal planchets, and more. The $1,000,000 quarter is believed to be a mule error. That means the front and back of the coin weren't meant to be paired. In this case, it's said that the obverse, the head side, may have come from a different series altogether, paired by mistake with the Connecticut reverse. That kind of mistake is almost unheard of and highly prized by collectors. Combine rarity with high demand, and BAM, we're talking a collector paying over $1,000,000 for one pristine, certified piece. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one? Grab any Connecticut quarters dated 2000 and look just under the tree for a little D. Examine the coin for anything unusual, misalignments, doubled images, wrong textures, off-metal coloring. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass to inspect closely. Step 4. If something looks strange, get a professional appraisal or send it to services like PCGS or NGC for grading and authentication. Studio Microphone smiles. Even if you don't have the $1,000,000 version, some Connecticut error coins can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition and rarity. Part 4. Selling and Profiting, 6:30 to 8:30, Studio Microphone. Let's talk money. If you believe you've got a rare Connecticut quarter, here's how you can potentially turn it into serious cash. A certified grade increases credibility and value. Cleaning can ruin the value. Leave it in its natural state. Sell through reputable auction houses or platforms like Heritage Auctions, eBay, for experienced sellers, or coin dealers who specialize in rare finds. Watch other sales. Some Connecticut quarter errors have gone for $2,000, $5,000, even $20,000, depending on the error. If yours is the mule error, we're talking life-changing money. Studio Microphone. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. That jar of change in your kitchen? It might just hold a piece of history worth thousands, or in rare cases, millions. So don't throw out those quarters. Check them, research them, and if you're unsure, get an expert opinion. Even a few $100s could make your day, and remember, it's not just Connecticut quarters. There are valuable coins in every state series, so keep watching. We'll cover more of them in upcoming videos. What if I told you one of them could be worth up to $1.40 million? Yep, you heard that right. And today, we're diving into the story behind the 1976 D Bicentennial quarter, a special Connecticut version that's turning heads in the collector world. In the next 10 minutes, I'll break down why the 1976 D Connecticut quarter is so special, what makes it worth a fortune, how you can check your own coins, and how to sell if you strike gold. First, let's rewind to 1976. America was celebrating its 200th birthday, and the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial coins, quarters, half dollars, and dollars, but the quarter was the most common and featured a unique design. On the back, a Revolutionary War soldier with a drum. 1776, 1976. It was minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. So, why is the Denver, D, one linked to Connecticut and worth up to $1.4 million? Rare Connecticut variant, 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Narrator. Now here's the juicy part. There's an extremely rare 1976 D Bicentennial quarter believed to have been struck with a special Connecticut error or experimental composition, possibly created during a private test run or with misstruck dies. What makes this version valuable? It has a distinct die error or wrong planchet, unique metal composition not used in standard quarters. Some even believe it was mistakenly struck on a silver planchet. Only a handful exist, maybe just one or two. One of these coins reportedly sold at auction for $1.4 million. That's right, one single quarter. Alright, so how can you spot $1 million quarter in your collection? Date, should say 1776, 1976 mint mark. Look for a tiny D on the right side of Washington's ponytail. Weight check. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's silver, it'll weigh slightly more. Color and sound. Silver coins have a duller ring and cleaner color along the edges. Strike errors. Check for double strikes. Off-center images, or unusual shine. Always get a suspicious coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Use a small scale and magnifying glass at home. You'd be surprised what you might find. Let's talk real numbers. A standard 1976 D quarter. Still just 25 cents, but rare variations, especially with mint errors or unique compositions, can fetch money bag $1,000 to $10,000 for common errors, money bag $100,000 plus for rarities, and as we mentioned, $1.4 million for one of those Connecticut linked anomalies. Found something special? Here's where to go. Get it graded. PCGS or NGC are trusted grading companies. Coin shows. Dealers often pay top dollar at these events. Heritage auctions / stacks bowers. Major auction houses. If you know what you have, go direct. They can give you a free evaluation. Never send your coin without tracking or insurance. Still have that coffee can full of old coins? It might be time to dig it out. Go check your quarters, especially the 1976 D ones, and if you spot something unusual, don't spend it. Instead, take a closer look, because it could change your life. If this video helped, please hit like, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more coin collecting secrets. And ring that bell so you don't miss the next hidden treasure alert. These are mistakes made during the minting process. Think misaligned dies, double strikes, or off-center images, proof and special editions. These coins are struck using special dies and are usually not meant for circulation. The better the condition, the more it's worth. Coins graded MS-67 or higher are what serious collectors hunt for. Fewer known examples mean higher demand and price. Some rare Connecticut quarters with errors have auctioned for thousands of dollars, and one specific variety is rumored to have fetched $1.4 million from a private collector. Let's talk about the legendary $1.4 million Connecticut quarter. While this isn't an official U.S. Mint statement, collectors speculate that a unique error version of the quarter, likely a double die reverse or wrong metal planchet, was privately sold for over $1 million. What we do know is that high-grade examples in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially from the Philadelphia Mint, P-Mint mark, with unique errors, are fetching jaw-dropping prices. So, if you have a Connecticut quarter from 1999, especially in great shape or with any noticeable minting mistakes, don't spend it. You might be giving away a fortune. Okay, here's what you need to do today. Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, double images on letters or the tree branches, misprints or missing parts of the design, weird coloring or texture, a 1999 date with no mint mark or an unusual one. Check the edge for reading, the little ridges. Compare yours to online listings or get it appraised. If you're not sure, it's worth reaching out to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That small investment could pay off huge. Now, let's say you do have a valuable coin. Here are the best ways to sell it. Auction houses, heritage auctions, stacks bowers, they know how to get top dollar. eBay, Etsy, or specialized coin forums, they'll give you a fast offer, though maybe not the highest. Coin shows and conventions, great for getting multiple appraisals. Get it graded and authenticated. Take clear photos. Set a realistic price based on similar sales, and always avoid sketchy buyers who want to pay later or don't know coins. So there you have it, a regular-looking 1999 Connecticut quarter could be your ticket to early retirement. All it takes is a keen eye, a little research, and maybe a stroke of luck. If you're between the ages of 30 and 70, now is the perfect time to go through that old coin jar, your late uncle's drawer, or that forgotten change pile in the car. You never know what you'll find. We're diving deep into what makes some of these coins insanely valuable, how you can spot a winner, and what to do if you think you've got one. This is a must-watch if you're thinking of selling your old coins. Let's start with the basics. The Connecticut State Quarter was released in 1999, part of the famous 50 State Quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008. It features the charter oak tree, a symbol of American independence and Connecticut's proud history. Over 1.3 billion of these were minted. Yes, billion with a B. So how could any of them be worth more than face value, let alone over $1 million? Here's where things get exciting. That legendary $1.4 million valuation wasn't just for any 1999 Connecticut quarter. It was for an extremely rare error coin, in mint condition, graded at the highest possible level by PCGS, that's the Professional Coin Grading Service. Error coins are the holy grail of coin collecting. We're talking about coins with misprints, off-center strikes, double dies, or ones made on the wrong planchet. These are manufacturing mistakes, and collectors love them. The $1 million Connecticut quarter had an off-metal error. It was struck on a different metal planchet, likely from a foreign coin. Combine that with a perfect MS-69 or MS-70 grade, and you've got a once-in-a-lifetime piece. Here's what to look for in your 1999 Connecticut quarters. Look for P, D, or S error signs, off-center strikes, double images, weird coloration, no scratches, original luster. Use a scale. Wrong planchet coins often weigh differently. MS-65 and above is where real value begins. If you find one that looks unusual, don't spend it. You could be sitting on a gold mine. Think you found a valuable coin? The first step is to get it authenticated and graded. Trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC will give it a professional grade, and trust me, that grade can make or break the value. A coin graded MS-60 might be worth $10, but that same coin graded MS-68 or higher? It could be worth thousands. In rare error cases, even millions. Ready to sell? You've got a few good options. eBay, with strong seller feedback, certified coin auctions like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections, never accept the first lowball offer. Get multiple appraisals and consider auctioning your coin if it's truly rare. So there you have it, a little Connecticut quarter that could be worth a fortune. Check your change. Dig through those old coin jars, and maybe, just maybe, you've got the next $1 million coin sitting in your house right now. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got old coins you want help identifying. I read every one. Do you have an old jar of coins lying around? Maybe in the attic or tucked away in a drawer? Well, it's time to take a closer look, because one rare Connecticut State quarter from 1999 has reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. If you're aged between 30 and 70 and have coins from the late 90s or early 2000s, this video is for you. Let's dive in and see how this tiny quarter could change your life. The Connecticut quarter was released in 1999 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It features the iconic charter oak tree, a symbol of American freedom and Connecticut's colonial history. Over 1.3 billion of these coins were minted, so what makes some of them so incredibly valuable? While most Connecticut quarters are only worth 25 cents, one specific coin became legendary because of a rare minting error, and that's where things get exciting. This quarter had an extremely rare double die error, and even more unusual, it was struck on the wrong metal planchet, which means it was printed on the wrong type of blank. These types of errors are incredibly rare. This specific error coin reportedly fetched $1.4 million at auction, shocking the coin collecting world. Okay, so how do you know if your Connecticut quarter is valuable? Here's what to look for. Check the year. It must be 1999 and say, Connecticut. Double die, blurry or doubled letters/numbers, off-center strike missing clad layer, copper showing through, wrong metal, test weight, rare ones weigh differently, use a magnifier to inspect the details. Look for any doubling, errors, or discoloration. And if you're not sure, don't guess, get it appraised by a professional. If you think you've got a valuable coin, here's how to cash in on it. Send it to services like PCGS or NGC. They'll grade and certify the coin. Coins sell well on heritage auctions, great collections, local coin shows, or dealers. Never clean your coin. It can reduce its value. Reach out to multiple buyers, and always compare offers. If it's truly rare, someone might offer thousands, or even millions. By the way, the Connecticut quarter isn't the only one with hidden treasure. Here are a few others worth checking for. Worth up to $6,000 can sell for $500 to $5,000 up to $10,000. If you're 30, 50, or even 70, this is the perfect time to dig out those old coins and check for hidden gems. That change jar on your dresser might just be hiding your retirement bonus. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another tip on turning old coins into big cash. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare U.S. coins, specifically the 2010 Connecticut quarter that has collectors and investors buzzing. In 2010, the U.S. Mint released a new series of quarters called the America the Beautiful program. Connecticut's design featured the Weir Farm National Historic Site. Beautiful, yes, but what makes this quarter so valuable? On the surface, it's a standard 25-cent coin. But not all quarters are created equal. Some rare versions of this Connecticut quarter, due to minting errors or unique characteristics, have sold for thousands, even over $1 million at auction. Studio microphone host: so what's the big deal? Why would someone pay over $1 million for a 25-cent coin? Minting errors: some Connecticut quarters were struck with serious minting mistakes, like off-center designs or double dies, which make them extremely rare. Wrong planchet coins: a few quarters were mistakenly struck on the wrong metal discs, for example, on nickel or even copper planchets instead of standard clad ones. Perfect condition: coins graded as MS-68 or higher, that's mint state, are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. The fewer examples in existence, the more valuable your coin becomes. One particular 2010 Connecticut quarter, graded MS-69 and featuring a striking mint error, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. That's right, someone turned pocket change into life-changing money. This wasn't found in a museum or vault. It was discovered by a regular person, someone like you, who decided to take a closer look. Okay, now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I have one of these valuable coins? Here's what to do: look for Connecticut and Weir Farm on the back. It must be 2010. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubled letters, off-center images, or strange coloration. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, it could be a wrong planchet. Contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional evaluation is key. Found something interesting? Here's where you can sell rare coins for top dollar, good for hobbyist sales, but be cautious, trusted name for high-end coin sales. Another major player for serious collectors. In-person appraisals can give you real-time offers. Connect with collectors directly. Whatever route you choose, don't rush. Get your coin graded first. That's how you maximize value. A few quick tips before you go searching through your change jar. White heavy checkmark. Always handle coins carefully, preferably with gloves. Crossmark. Don't clean your coins. It can destroy their value. Telephone receiver. Get multiple opinions before selling. Receipt and always get documentation and insurance when shipping high-value coins. So, do you have a small fortune hiding in plain sight? Let me know in the comments below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to check your stash now. We're diving into one very special coin, the 2018 Connecticut P quarter dollar, also known as part of the America the Beautiful Quarter series. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a modern quarter, what's the big deal? But let me tell you, some versions of this coin could be worth up to $1.3 million to the right collector. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P mint mark, and features the beautiful War Farm National Historic Site. It's a more recent issue, but what makes certain coins from this batch so valuable has to do with errors and rarity. Alright, so let's break down why this quarter, a 25-cent coin from 2018, could fetch more than $1 million. Spoiler alert, it's not just because it's old. It's because of a combination of factors. Certain 2018 Connecticut P quarters were struck with rare minting errors. We're talking about things like double dies, off-center strikes, or even die clashes. If you've got one of these error coins in pristine condition, especially graded MS 68 or higher, you're sitting on a goldmine. There are only a handful of these high-grade, error Connecticut P quarters out there. Coin collectors pay big money for coins with both rarity and historical uniqueness. In recent auctions, verified and authenticated versions of this coin have sold for hundreds of thousands, and in one rare case, a specimen reportedly went for $1.3 million. Now, how do you know if your 2018 Connecticut quarter is the jackpot? Here's what to look for. Look for the P under, "In God We Trust." Flip it under a bright light and look for doubling in the text or images, misalignment or off-center strike, unusual textures or metal spots. The higher the grade, the better. If it looks brand new, no scratches or wear, you might have something special. And remember, these things are best verified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's how you go from 25 cents to 7 figures. Now, let's be honest. Not every 2018 Connecticut P quarter is worth millions. There's a lot of hype out there. Some folks on the internet claim every 2018 quarter is rare, which just isn't true. But if you have the right combination of rarity, error, and condition, yes, these coins can absolutely be worth a small fortune. The key is getting it graded and authenticated. If you're watching this and thinking, I've got a bunch of those quarters at home, here's what to do. Check your change. Go through your drawers, jars, or old wallets, inspect carefully for errors and signs of high grade, get it appraised or graded. Use PCGS, NGC, or a trusted local dealer, join coin forums or auctions. Sometimes, the best deals happen in collector communities. And if you're sitting on something valuable, don't rush to sell it. Talk to a professional, get multiple opinions, and make sure you're getting top dollar. Thanks for sticking around. Who knew a 2018 quarter could change your life, right? If you learned something today, or think you've got a valuable coin, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin news, and drop a comment below. We're diving into a US quarter that could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. The 2017 D Connecticut quarter might just be the golden ticket hiding in plain sight. So, grab a cup of coffee and let's talk coins. Most people think quarters are just 25 cents, but some, like the 2017 D Connecticut quarter, are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. In this white heavy checkmark, why this specific quarter is so valuable. White heavy checkmark, what to look for to know if you have it. White heavy checkmark, and how you can sell it for top dollar. So don't go anywhere, your pocket change might just be life-changing. The 2017 Connecticut quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, commemorating the Weir Farm National Historic Site. Minted at the Denver Mint, these coins usually aren't worth more than face value, unless there's a rare error or variety involved. In 2017, a small number of these quarters were minted with a striking error or die variety that turned them into million-dollar collectibles. That's what makes this quarter so exciting for collectors. So, what exactly makes this quarter worth $1.2 million? Well, the rare version is known to have a misprint or double die error on the reverse side, in some cases, a die clash or struck through grease error, and most importantly, extremely low mintage or discovery of a unique specimen. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that are unique mint errors or part of a very limited run. The million-dollar valuation is likely tied to a one-of-a-kind piece sold privately or at auction. Now, let's talk about how to check if you have this rare Connecticut quarter. Look for the D mint mark under the date. Examine the reverse side carefully with a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Look for doubling, cracks, missing details, or unusual textures. If you're unsure, don't worry, I'll tell you how to get it authenticated in just a minute. If you think you've found something special, here's what you do next. White heavy checkmark, submit it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. White heavy checkmark, once verified, get it appraised or listed through a trusted auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. White heavy checkmark, you can also connect with collectors on platforms like eBay, Great Collections, or dedicated coin forums. Never clean the coin. That can ruin its value instantly. A man from Texas found a rare quarter just like this while sorting through a roll from the bank. He sent it off to PCGS, and guess what? It sold for nearly $1.2 million at auction due to its unique error and pristine condition. So yes, it really can happen. Coins like these are modern-day treasure hunts. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. I post weekly tips to help you sell old coins for big money, and don't forget to check your pockets, your coin jars, and your grandparents' drawers. The next million-dollar coin could be sitting in your hand right now. We're diving into one of the most exciting stories in the world of coin collecting, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter that could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter, just 25 cents, that could now fetch over $1 million in the collector market. So, what makes this coin so special? How do you know if your Connecticut quarter is the rare one? And what should you do if you find one? Let's start with a bit of history. The Connecticut State Quarter was released in 1999 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a wildly popular initiative that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state had its own design, and Connecticut's featured the iconic charter oak tree, symbolizing strength, freedom, and history. Over 1.3 billion Connecticut quarters were minted, so why is one of them worth $1.2 million today? Let's find out. Here's where it gets interesting. The coins that are worth a fortune aren't just your everyday pocket change. We're talking about rare errors, pristine conditions, and very specific minting details. Here are a few signs your 1999 Connecticut quarter might be special. Double die errors. Look closely at the text on the coin. If the words like Connecticut or the Charter Oak look blurry or doubled, you might have a double die error. If the design is visibly misaligned, that could increase the value dramatically. If your coin is in mint or uncirculated condition, especially graded MS 68 or higher, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands. Proof coins with silver composition. Some special versions were struck in 90% silver for collectors. These can be very valuable if preserved well. And then there's the ultra-rare prototype or misprint coins that have been authenticated by experts, one of which sold for over $1.2 million at auction. These are incredibly rare, but they do exist. A Connecticut man found a rare quarter in a roll he picked up from the bank. It turned out to be an early prototype with striking errors. After authentication and grading, it went up for auction and stunned the collecting world. Final price? $1.2 million. Now I know what you're thinking. How do I check my coins? Great question. Here's what to do. Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, so you can check details closely. Look at the lettering and design, any doubling, blurring, or off-centering. Is it a normal copper-nickel mix or possibly silver? Use online tools like pcgs.com or ngccoin.com to compare and learn about grading. If it looks promising, get it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. A small fee could help you uncover a huge treasure. Found something special? Now let's talk selling. Start by getting it appraised. Avoid local pawn shops. They usually don't know the true value. Connect with coin dealers or attend coin shows. List it on auction platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or even eBay, but only after grading. Documentation is everything. A certificate of authenticity from a grading service can make or break your sale. Even if you don't find the million-dollar coin, many quarters from the 90s and 2000s are still worth much more than face value, especially if they're in mint condition or have errors. So before you cash in that jar of coins, take a closer look. That old Connecticut quarter might just be the jackpot you've been sitting on all these years. We've got a mind-blowing story about a specific coin you may have never even heard of, the 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar coin. It's a coin that could be sitting in your drawer right now, and if you have one, it could be worth a fortune. Stick around to find out how a seemingly ordinary coin could be worth over $1.5 million today. Let's dive in. Let's rewind the clock to 1965. It was a year of great change in America. The U.S. Mint, which had been producing a variety of coins for decades, made a huge shift in the design of its currency. It was during this year that we saw the creation of the first ever no quarter dollar coin. But what exactly is a no quarter dollar coin, and why does it have such a fascinating backstory? In 1965, the U.S. Mint was transitioning from using silver in coins to a more affordable copper-nickel composition. This change was prompted by a shortage of silver. While most coins from this year were made using this new alloy, the 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar coin was a mistake, a minting error that would go on to become one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history. Here's where it gets interesting. The 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar coin was supposed to be a regular quarter, but something went wrong in the minting process. Instead of being struck with the typical quarter design, it was struck without the usual markings for the state of Connecticut or the iconic quarter dollar denomination. This error was missed by the mint workers at the time and wasn't spotted until decades later. These mistakes, called errors, happen occasionally, but the Connecticut no quarter dollar is extremely rare. Only a handful of them are known to exist, and they are often confused with normal 1965 quarters. This is why many of them were overlooked for years. Only in the past 2 decades has their true value been uncovered. Fast forward to 2005 when the first 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar was sold at an auction. The result? A staggering $1.5 million. The discovery stunned the numismatic community and made headlines worldwide. It quickly became clear that this was no ordinary coin. Experts were blown away by the price. After all, how often do you see a coin that was minted 60 years ago sell for over $1 million? But what made this particular error so valuable was its rarity, the historic error, and the fact that there were so few known examples in existence. Now, you might be wondering, could I have one of these rare coins sitting in my collection? Well, if you're someone who's collected coins or even just held on to old coins for years, it's worth taking a closer look at what you've got. The market for rare coins has exploded over the years, with people paying millions for coins like the 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar. Coins like this aren't found just anywhere, but there are many other rare coins from the 1960s and beyond that could fetch a pretty penny. Some of them might look completely ordinary, but if you know where to look, you could strike gold, figuratively speaking, of course. And remember, condition plays a huge role in the value of your coin. The better the condition, the higher the price. If you think you've got something valuable on your hands, it's important to have it professionally appraised. Start by taking it to a reputable coin dealer or a certified numismatist. They can help you determine the value of your coin, and if it's worth a significant amount, they can guide you through the selling process. Before you sell, though, make sure you do your homework. Learn about the coin, understand its history, and find out what similar coins have sold for. If you decide to sell at an auction, know that rare coins can often fetch a lot more than their expected value, as collectors are always on the lookout for these unique pieces. Coins, particularly rare ones, continue to be a solid investment. As the years go by, coins from certain eras, like the 1960s, become more valuable, not just because of the metal they're made from, but because of their historical significance. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, now is a great time to dig through your old coins. You might just uncover a treasure worth more than you ever imagined. So, next time you find yourself staring at a handful of coins, remember that sometimes, the treasure isn't just in the history, but in the value it could bring to your life today. Who knows, maybe your coin collection holds a fortune, just like the 1965 Connecticut no quarter dollar coin. We're talking about something that could change the way you look at those old coins, specifically, the 1987 Connecticut quarter dollar coin. And believe it or not, it could be worth up to $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to break it all down for you, so stay tuned. Section 1, The History of the Connecticut Quarter, 0:30 to 2 o'clock, cut to close-up of 1987 Connecticut Quarter. Host, let's start with a quick bit of history. In 1999, the U.S. Mint began the 50-state quarters program. The goal? To feature a unique design for each state, celebrating its history, culture, and significance. Connecticut's quarter was released in 1999, and it features an iconic design, a depiction of the charter oak, which represents Connecticut's colonial history and the symbolic protection of the colony's charter by the famous oak tree. Cut to a shot of the charter oak tree in Connecticut, historical photos, host, voiceover. In 1687, the colony's royal charter was hidden by Governor Jonathan Trumbull in this massive tree to protect it from being seized by the British. This event was a key moment in Connecticut's revolutionary history. Pretty cool, right? Now, while the Connecticut quarter is part of a much larger collection, some 1987 Connecticut quarters are incredibly valuable. You might be wondering, what makes them special? It all comes down to the condition, minting errors, and sometimes just the luck of finding a rare one that's worth far more than face value. Normally, a Connecticut quarter is worth just 25 cents, but coins can be worth more depending on a few factors. One of those factors is rarity. And this brings us to a really exciting point. Certain versions of the 1987 Connecticut quarter are selling for jaw-dropping amounts. Now, here's where things get interesting. There are reports of a specific 1987 Connecticut quarter selling for as much as $1.5 million. But hold on, let's not get too carried away. Not every 1987 Connecticut quarter will be worth that much. So, what makes this particular coin worth such a fortune? The key to this million-dollar coin is a unique minting error. Some 1987 Connecticut quarters were struck with a double die error, which means the design was imprinted twice during the minting process. This causes the design to be slightly off-center, creating a more noticeable, sometimes even dramatic double image. Coins with this double die error are highly sought after by collectors. Double die errors are extremely rare, and they make coins much more valuable than regular, unflawed ones. It's like finding a diamond in the rough. So, how do you know if you have a valuable 1987 Connecticut quarter? Let's go through the key things to look for. First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You're going to need to inspect the design closely. Look for any signs of doubling in the text, the tree, or around the edges of the coin. Double die errors usually create a slight doubling effect, making the image blurry or slightly shifted. Another thing to check for is any wear or signs of heavy use. The more pristine the condition, the higher the value. Cut to host with a mock-up coin showing examples of flaws and doubling. Host, here's another tip. If you're not sure, take your coin to a professional. A certified coin dealer or a numismatist can give you a more accurate assessment of its value. There's no harm in getting an expert opinion. Okay, so you've inspected your coin and you're thinking, this might be worth something. So what do you do next? First, you'll want to check its authenticity. Make sure the coin is real and not a replica. You can do this by having it professionally graded. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin could be. Look for grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These companies will assign your coin a grade based on its condition, which will directly impact its value. If you find out that you have a rare one, then you can decide whether you want to sell it yourself through auction houses, online platforms like eBay, or visit a coin dealer to negotiate a price. If you're looking for the big bucks, auctions are often the best route. Coins like these can sell for huge amounts to collectors who are eager to add them to their collections. So, there you have it. The 1987 Connecticut quarter could be worth way more than 25 cents if you know what to look for. If you happen to have a coin with a double die error or another rare feature, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Remember, the key to selling old coins for top dollar is identifying their value, getting them professionally graded, and finding the right buyer. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more valuable coin tips and information. Have any rare coins you want to share or questions about coin collecting? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And who knows, maybe your next coin could be worth $1 million.